We all want the Acro P2. That's the hot optic right now. $599 to $650 depending on what color you get. Or do you go Chinese with C&H and go to the Duty for $329? Let's go to range and shoot it. The C&H Duty, or is it the Siley Bear Duty, or is it the Hunt, or the, what's the other one I found last night, or the Lucid? All the same body. Yeah, $199 for the Siley Bear. Now, granted, this one doesn't have the Acro mounting, and maybe that's why the C&H model has that. There's some different stylings around the buttons, some different features. If you guys will notice, like so, you'll see a little different. But when you look at everything else, the top of the dot, the battery door is slightly different. But everything else is pretty similar in just a different milling on the housing. When I see the C&H marketing, they do a lot of verbiage that says this is theirs. It is a rebranded product, right? And it's clearly a rebranded product because everyone and their mother has one as well. Now, the advantage of the rebranded product is that this is a true Acro mounting. It is 100% fit to the Acro plate, and it's $200 less, actually $300 less than, say, an FDE P2. For $300 less, is it worth it? For me, I think so. I'm not going to say, hey man, go out and buy this over a P2, save your money and get the real thing. And I'm a big believer of shopping within your price points, right? We are all gun guys. We are all gear guys. We want to have that thing, or even though it's not the real deal, we want it to look like the real deal. And that's where you come into here. This is my Prodigy 5-inch gun and has the Acro plate on it. I have a P2 for it. The P2's on something else right now. And so instead of going out and getting another P2, we went and tried this. Now, through one of my distributors, we do have the ability to buy this. We did not pay full retail for it, but it fits great. The dot is there, adjustments are there. It hasn't lost zero. It did kind of come loose today at the range. Now, if I really felt that I wanted to spend a ton of money and time into this, I would consider that, right? And do a bunch of testing on it and do a bunch of shooting, but that's not my thing. I don't care enough. This is a fun add-on to this pistol. It helps me with the holster fitment, and that's kind of where it stays. I would like a little more transparency from C&H on saying, hey, this is what we saw. We could bring these in. We're going to rebrand them, because I really want to know how you get to $330 for this one when the rest are sub $300. And they're very, very similar in design and features. And again, where I believe that might come into play is with the mounting. There may have been some type of monies needed for the Acro mounting plate system, because this one here you'll notice has 2 screws. It has a Glock MOS plate that comes with it, and it's on an ADM mount right now. One of the cool things about this one at $200, and the battery is still going strong as well. This is now well over 1 year on this guy, and a P1 wouldn't last 4 months. So when we all chased the Acro P1, only to find out the battery was shit, here's a Chinese model for $200 that has a battery, a 2032, that's now been going for well over a year. So I get the conversation of Chinese, and I don't want to support China any more than the next guy does. But there are times when you are going to buy a product or buy a tool or buy a widget or buy an accessory. And sometimes the knockoff can be better than the original. And in this case, that's an example. Is that a process to live by or a standard to live by? No. Buy American whenever you can, and that's going to benefit all of us in the long run. But we're always still going to buy stuff like this. It's going to be a fact. It's just not going to go away. But this is where, when we look at this stuff, when I saw these, I'm like, there's no damn way that these are not the same product with whatever company's making these, and you're picking from a catalog to have this angle cut or that angle cut. Because when you look at these two, man, I mean, even the adjustment is blacked out on the CNH. The side of the bear is silver. The adjustment knob on the side here is the same, right? You know, the CNH has a rear sight built into the back of the window where the side of the bear does not. But again, as I mentioned, when you look at this side of the Optic and you look at this side of the Optic, there's that Acro mounting screw. There's a single screw here and a double screw here. I have not tried to mount this to the Acro plate yet, and I just didn't care enough to do that. Maybe I should, but at the end of the day, it was more along the lines of that even though this is a Chinese copy with a CNH branding on it, it works great. It really does. I've had no issue with it. When we bought this, I bought this Optic to help with holster fitment. That way I could have an Optic on the gun and not have to run the P2 on just a fit gun. But when you look at this CNH Duty, the issue is that the battery cover is a bit wide, so it does stick on certain holsters. Since every Safran Duty holster that's made in the 6000 series has a human element to it, there's going to be some overmolding, some undermolding. It's just the way it is. No two holsters are the same. So when you look at the battery door right here, it's catching on the pistol and not letting the gun drop all the way into the holster. The Acro P2 does not do that because the battery door is flush, right? So just so you guys know, if you do go this route, know that you're gonna have to give it a little snug. But once you do, it locks up just fine and draws just fine. And you gotta kind of shove it in there. The battery door is not gonna even come close to closing, or the cover door is not gonna come close to closing. So of course, you just take this thing off and you run an open emitter as it is, or open cover since you have an enclosed emitter. But that is something that you can look at there. But at the end of the day, man, if you wanted an enclosed Acro style red dot, the CNH Duty is not a bad option to have. At $339, it's the question. Considering these are cheaper, but again, we have the Acro mounting question. These are MOS mounting plates. So again, you have to do your homework if you go this route. So you guys, that's what I got for you on the CNH Duty RDS red dot. I like it. It's not bad by any means. I would prefer to run an Acro or MPS, but if you do go to a CNH product, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. But again, it is just a rebranded Chinese Optic. If you've made it this far in the video, you like to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Those numbers help us. But by subscribing to the channel, turning your notifications, you'll be notified the next time I upload the video. Until next time, be well, take care.